All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13. As today we are going to get underway after a 1 week break. We're going to get away with our 8th race of the season. We are now in the final half, and big things are looking to happen today. Real quickly, I'm going to run over the championship as it stands right now after Le Mans. Then I'll go ahead and run down some of the big things that happened from then till now. Starting with the championship points. There's still a three-way tie at the bottom for 35th between AMS Custom Dips, NDL Wipin, and Smidini. They all have 100 points. 34th is still the tire bearer with 130. 32nd is Excelsior with 155 points. 32nd is Grand Wolf 1221 with 180. 31st is BDF 48 Gaming with 200. 30th is Redline FM with 205 points. NDL Avocado is a newcomer onto the board. He is 29th. He has 225 points after he won 2 weeks ago at Le Mans. 28th is Deed Speedmoon with 225 points as well. 27th is Raygun vs. Zombie with 240 points. 26th is FME Sports with 265. He's in a tie for 25th with RV and Chaos Fox. 24th is HYR Mall with 275 points. 23rd is SDR Drumore with 290 points. 22nd is AMS Virage, he has 310 points. 21st is HYR Vasco, he has 345 points. 20th is Tactical Fallout with 355 points. 19th is TFB Matter with 390 points. 18th is NFL Racer 4812 with 405 points. 17th is Camworthy. 17th is Dino Prime 77. He has 455 points. 16th is Camworthy with 490 points. 15th is RZX U5 AMVP. However, those points will be reset as of now, as all of his prior starts had been with at least Chevys. Now he's going to BMW, and swapping manufacturers automatically leads to the driver points getting reset. 14th is AMS Inductor with 690 points. 13th is AMS Beast with 785 points. 12th is AMS Rambo with 810 points. 11th is AMS Mercs with 905 points. 10th is AMS Andrew 14 with 930 points. 9th is PM221 with 1,000 points. 8th is Prius Killer 8110 with 1,155 points. There is a tie for 6th between NDL Dindu and SRD Shredder. Both of them have 1,002. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a three-way tie. 5th, 6th, and 7th are all tied. Lucre Speed, SRD Shredder, and NDL Dindu. All of them have 1,205 points each. Fourth is PTG Lil Caesar. He has 1,255 points. Third is PTG J Caesar with 1,345 points. Second is AMS Mead 212 with 1,425 points. And your points leader is RZ and Valkyrie with 1,495 points. So right now it seems like they are having a little bit of trouble trying to get the lobby properly underway. One of the big changes that happened after last week was, you did see correctly, NDL Avocado did win at Le Mans at the end of it all. Post-race, however, there were time penalties given to the first and second place finishers. Now, while the time penalties did not actually end up changing the results at all, it did show that there is some strictness with the rules regarding track guides and track limits. Both of the winners got time penalties for that, but neither of them actually ended up getting enough of a time penalty to drop them out of their first or second place finishing positions. So that's something to keep an eye on. We may have to look a little bit more closely regarding track limits. Yeah, both of them were giving 12-second penalties for track extensions, and then NDL Avocado also got a 3-second penalty as he did not properly comply with the instructions of the race director at the start of the race. However, as Avocado was more than 3 seconds ahead of Valkyrie at the end of it, he did not lose his win to them. So there were no actual changes in that. The more interesting news, though, is that if you look at the driver list right now, you will notice a very, very significant missing driver. RZ and Valkyrie, the man who has won 5 of the first 7 races this season, he has not shown up for today's event. Now, with a swing of about 85 points from first to 16th finish, assuming that we get a proper 16 drivers running today, might only be 15, might be a little less than, might be closer to 75. It looks like that will mean that unless something crazy happens, Mead is going to walk out today's race with the points lead. However, the question now is going to be between PTG J Caesar and AMS Mead. If J Caesar has a really strong run today and even wins while Mead ends up slipping a bit, we could see this championship fight get very close. Right now, the gap between the two of them is about 80 points at the moment. I believe it's a 75 to 80 point swing, depending on how many people we get. We might get 16 stars, we might only have 15. It's still a little bit TBD at the moment. But yeah, that's the big thing. The other thing is that we could, depending on how this turns out, we could see our first season with more than 3 different winners in a GT class for a very, very, very long time here. Alright, so word is that Prius Killer is not going to be running. He will get points for attempting to run, but he is not going to be racing, as his internet is giving him significant fits. So we apologize for that as the field begins to ready up here. So that means we'll be looking at, I believe, a 15-car field in today's race. So yeah, the swing from first, which would be 225 points, to 15th, which is 145, that is a 80-point swing. It is exactly 80 points between our second and third place driver in the championship right now, Mead and J Caesar at 1425 and 1345. So if J Caesar wins this race, and then somehow, if Mead finishes last and J Caesar wins, they can be tied leaving today's event. But basically, this really blows our championship quite a ways open. This will inevitably drop Valkyrie back by some distance. So we'll keep an eye on that. Assuming that Valkyrie has not attempted to pre-qualify, but nothing I've seen has said that he has attempted to do pre-qualifying even, so he's not going to get any points for today's event. There is a possibility that he might not even bother showing for the rest of the season. Would be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen, but that is a possibility. What is pretty much confirmed, though, is that our championship is now blown open, and things get really interesting real quick here. Again, only 3 winners thus far this season. NDL Avocado won at Le Mans 2 weeks ago. AMS Mead won at Sebring, which was our other wet weather race, a little bit more than a month ago, and then Valkyrie has won every other race this season. He's shown weakness. The first 4 races of the season were Valkyrie-centric. He's shown a little bit of weakness in the 3 races since, only winning 1 of those 3 and being involved in 3 different instances between Sebring and Daytona. Now, with not showing up, this really blows things open. This also opens up the chance of maybe having our 4th different winner in the GT category. No guarantee, but things could get really interesting real quickly there. Yeah, there were 6 different winners way back in the first multi-class season in the GT category. But we have not had more than 3 since. So we could, depending on how this turns out, see our first season with 4 different winners in a long time. Would be very interesting if that ends up being the case. As we see the field beginning to line up on the exit of turn 1 here. SVR Karki representing the McLaren. McLaren really showed some strength last week after winning at Le Mans. Wasn't the outright fastest car, but it was better on its tires than the Acura that it was fighting with most of the day, so that really upends and opens up how things might end up turning out today. Real quickly, we'll look from the top to the back of the field here. Alright, I like these angles, but they are not going to work for this purpose. We'll go to the rail camera real quickly. So in the pole position will be this man here, NDL Dindu. He will be followed, and he is representing the Ferrari, so keep an eye on that. This could be Ferrari's first win in a long time. Following that will be NDL Avocado, will be representing... This is the worst. Alright, I knew there was a reason I don't use rail cameras. I apologize. Following that will be NDL Avocado, representing the McLaren once again. Following Avocado will be AMS Mead. So Mead missing a front row starting position in the Lexus. The Lexus has shown some incredible straight line speed. Won at Sebring with a setup that was not focused on handling at all, just pure straight line speed, and that strat worked out for him. And 4th is going to be PTG J Caesar. You can see them coming into play. J Caesar is going to be representing the BMW once again. Behind J Caesar will be SVR Karki. There we are. Karki also representing McLaren. PTG Little Caesar, Caesar the Younger. More than likely this will be his last race of the season. He's going to be starting in the 6th position here, representing BMW. Behind them will be PM221. It's been a little while since PM has shown up. He's one of the Acura drivers. We'll be looking to try and bring another Acura win home somehow, if at all possible. Behind them will be RZX, U5 AMVP. As I've said before, most of the season he has ran in a Chevrolet. However, it appears that they are going to be running a BMW, so their driver points are getting completely reset with that in mind. Lucas Speed will be in the 9th position here. He is representing the Chevrolet. Chevrolet has just not shown any capability this entire season. Ludacris still looking to try and get his first top 5 of the season. However, off the merit of showing up to every race thus far, he is continuing in the top 7 in points right now. Might end up moving up a few positions as that turns out today. Okay, so it looks like Shredder may have actually qualified 4th. That's kind of interesting. So I apologize for that. 11th is AMS Indoctro. Indoctro is representing the Viper. Viper's not shown a lot of speed this season, but he's going to be trying to turn that around. Behind them will be SVR Carrera. Carrera is representing another McLaren. Then NFL Racer, once again representing the Dodge. NFL's really been struggling in this series. Behind them will be FM Esports. I believe this is only their 3rd start thus far this season. They are in another Dodge. And then SDR Dramora just going to be struggling to try and not finish dead last today, is representing a Chevrolet in today's event. Yeah, apparently SRD Shredder qualified second row in 4th position. So that could be interesting. The lone Mercedes in the field acting like a spanner in the works for today's event. But it is Indiel Dindu who is going to be at the front, the Ferrari. But he has 2 former race winners in this season right behind him and to his side, so keep an eye on that. This could be the first time in years, since about 2020, I believe, that we could see a more than 3 different winners in the IESC GT series, or at least the GT category. Would be fantastic if that happens. But if Mead wins this race, this would pretty solidly put him on top of the championship. If Avocado wins this race, it means that he could be the biggest spanner in the works with a title fight going down to it, because that means that by being one of, if not the new fastest driver on the track, it means that gaps in the field in the points will be a lot harder to close. There won't be as many points you could really steal. So things can get really interesting. J. Caesar still looking for his first win. Shredder looking for his first win. Dindu obviously trying to look for their first win in that Ferrari. It would be fantastic to see any new winners. But either way, it's going to be interesting because the fastest man all day, or fastest man all season, is not showing up. The field is now lining up, double file here, as they come down to the line. Around the final high-speed bend, they'll come into the ultra-tight right-left chicane. It's an uphill chicane, really hard to maximize grip through there. The other thing to watch out for, rain. We saw yellow flags in the last ring race we had at Sebring. This will also change how tire strategy works out, because everyone's going to be wearing wetsuit the entire time pretty much. All right, out of the final corner. Dindu inside, Avocado outside, Ferrari versus McLaren with a Lexus and a Mercedes right behind. The field is all doubled up. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go green flag here at Spa-Francorchamps. See the field go through turn 1. Several drivers already off circuit quite a bit there, but it looks like it is Mead who has turned up with that incredible straight line speed. And already the Lexus is in the front of the field, and someone sideways, is that the Mercedes? It's hard to tell, but someone has lost a huge chunk of time there. Mead at the head of the field. Farther back. It looks like everyone's gotten it together, though. But the top 5 at the moment, all within a second of each other. Top 7 all around top of each other. But Dindu in the Ferrari seems to be struggling here in the opening laps. You see Mead is at the front. Avocado is held steady in second. Shredder has moved up in the third. Here comes Lil Caesar now trying to go to the inside. They're nearly 3 wide. Ferrari gets pushed wide by Caesar there. The Mercedes of Shredder goes way off circuit. Now Lil Caesar is going to go up in the 3rd position. Dindu will slump to 4th. Shredder falls back to 5th, and the top 2 are walking away quite a bit early on here. Parkey now gets by Shredder, as the Ferrari is stuck behind the BMW. Big sideways moment. Oh, and there's some contact, and Lil Caesar gets hit from behind by Dindu, goes way off circuit, will lose that possession, will still be side by side to the braking zone, got the inside, but will turn to the outside in the following corner, and Dindu, for the moment at least, clears the BMW. There's a McLaren right behind. McLaren's all of a sudden very popular after that win at Le Mans. Oh, big twitch by the BMW, struggling to stay in line behind the Ferrari. The Ferrari runs wide. There's a Honda, an Acura that's run wide as well. At the front, though, Avocado is right on Mead's tail. This high-speed bend. The biggest strength in that Lexus for Mead has been tire life. He's been better at managing tires than anyone else. Avocado, though, utilized that same strength to get himself a win back at Le Mans. So 2 winners already this season fighting to try and go for another victory here. NDL Dindu seems to have solidified in 3rd position. PTG Little Caesar is currently in 4th, starting to lose touch with that Ferrari. This could be Dindu's best shot at winning this season. We know he had some incredible speed at Daytona, but a lap 1 spin dropped him a lot of time that he just couldn't make back up as the race went on. So Karki and U5 are having a little bit of a fight. PM is making his way up to 6 behind SRD Shredder right now as the field runs up through the Al Rouge and Radion corners. Ludicrous speed around the outside of Doctro, and Jay Caesar is there as well. Jay Caesar, one of your potential championship contenders, is just not having a good time at all in the rain. Saw a similar thing happen at Sebring. That time it was a bit of a strategy kerfuffle. A significant underfuel early on really nicked his strategy badly. Right now, it seems like he's just had a bad run. Here comes Cabrera with the McLaren to the inside of Jay Caesar. Caesar just cannot keep the car on the track, and is going to be NFL racer who tries to make it 3 wide. No back out of it, does not want to be 3 wide through these corners. Oh my goodness, Jay Caesar is absolutely struggling right now. And this is great news for Meade if he wants to take over that championship fight. Not what we anticipated from that BMW driver. All right, here's NDL Dindu, still runs 3rd, a little more than 2 seconds out from our leaders as Meade continues to hold station over NDL Avocado. The 2 of them basically running in a zone of their own right now. Seems very obvious to me that Avocado faster in the corners, but that Lexus just has a superior straight line speed. Bit of a twist by Avocado. He's not having the greatest time being tucked in the aero wake of that Lexus ahead of him. Looks like the field as a whole is now beginning to spread out just a little bit here. Dindu pulling away a little bit from Little Caesar as SRD Shredder now begins to mount the charge on the BMW driver for the 4th spot. PM221 in the Acura. Highest ranked Acura today because your normal front runner, Valkyrie, not showing up for today's event. Coming down the short front straightaway right now. No moves yet. Dindu seems to be closing a bit on Avocado, who does not seem to be closing down on Meade very much. As we look at our leaders as they go through the Al Rouge and Radion corners. Dindu now clear of traffic behind, can focus forward. Again, this could be his best shot at a win this entire season. Big move by Lil Caesar. Here comes Shredder to try and make something of it. Only one, the younger of the Caesar family, showed a lot of strength 2 weeks ago at Le Mans, ran the top 3 for a good chunk of the race, only fell to 5th, as his father, Jay Caesar, had better tire management late. That might not be the case here. We could see Little Caesar legitimately outscore his father in today's race, which would be a very, very unexpected turn of events. A little bit of bumper-to-bumper contact. BMW on Mercedes, they'll be side by side, now down to the no-name corner. See Karki and U5 having a bit of a fight. This swapping of manufacturers does not seem to work out very well for U5 either. Remember, in that Chevy, he did bring the car to his top 2, a 2nd place finish at Sebring. Might not be having the same luck in the BMW today, though. Shredder really sideways, goes offline just a little bit. They're still going to be side by side into the braking zone. Shredder is almost drifting through the corner. I think he's got the position for the moment. So Shredder in 4th, and Little Caesar is going to stabilize in 5th. FM Esports and SDR Jamora have both completely lost the plot compared to the rest of the field. It is not looking great for them. And Shredder and Little Caesar's fight have mean that they have completely lost touch with Dindu. So Dindu's stuck in no man's land, trying to watch and hope that something happens to Avocado and Meade, who are here at the front. He needs these 2 drivers to start fighting if he wants to close in. Make the 4th be the 4th different winner this season. Mead holding station. Avocado gets right up behind him. But that Lexus has been an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. We can see him opening up the gap again as they go down this shorter front straightaway. Avocado's got Mead's draft on the run downhill. Just be careful going through the Al Rouge Radion complex. It looks like Mead is a little bit more stable than Avocado through there. Oh, and SDR Jamora has already dropped out of the event. Well, now we're down to 14 drivers running. FM Esports kind of lost in the zone of his own right now. Just does not seem to have the pace to keep up with everyone else. Dindu does not seem to be able to keep up with our leaders, at least in the first few sectors. Ludicrous speed. He is in 8th right now, but all of his real big title rivals are up ahead of him at the moment. He is fighting the BMW of U5. Again, while it doesn't mean that he's immediately in play, Ludicrous is one of the few drivers that have shown up to every race thus far, has been in the fight for a top 7 in points, so with Valkyrie missing today, a good run by Ludicrous could make him an outside threat in the championship fight here. But running midfield like this is not going to make that happen. Big twitch by Karki. It seems like Karki and the McLaren is really struggling. So are the BMWs. It really seems to me, as I look down the grid, like a lot of the drivers have already kind of filed into where they're going to be, and now it's just going to be a matter of tire life management. We're only on our 4th racing lap in this race right now. Again, the very first lap is really just a pace lap. It doesn't really count for anything. So real quickly, I want to go ahead and start looking at tire life of the drivers on track here. Mead, your current race leader, he is at 16% tire wear at the moment. As I look at Avocado, who is right behind, Avocado's tire life is at 15%. So this could be bad news for me because Avocado is managing his tires better than he is. Dindu is in 3rd position right now, and Dindu, he is at 14% tire wear, but 16's in the rear for him. So Dindu is burning up the rears, but saving the fronts compared to the leaders. 4th place is SRD Shredder. He's known for tearing through tires. 16% in the front, 17 in the rear. Let me double check and see if the leaders are actually burning through their front tires faster than their rears or vice versa. Mead is burning through them almost evenly all around. Avocado, who is not burning through his fronts as aggressively, is not burning through his rears as aggressively either. So yes, Avocado seems to have a tire life advantage right now over Mead. So that could get really interesting to see how it plays out. And then Lil Caesar, who is running in the 5th position at the moment, 17% in the fronts, but 19's in the rear. So right now it seems like Shredder and Little Caesar are going to deal with some significant tire fall off, but it's in the rear tires, not the front tires, which has been the norm for the majority of the season. And then right now, Dindu, Avocado, Mead all seem to be relatively good at tire management. Dindu a little bit better than both of them, but being over 2.5 seconds out of the leader, I don't know how much we'll actually be able to make use of that advantage. Lucas Speed right now ahead of U5, but now that position swaps. U5 makes that big dive on the run downhill now. That Corvette really seems to be struggling. Jay Caesar has stabilized to 11, but if he wants to fight at this title, he needs to start making up more positions than this. Oh, big sideways move for U5. Almost the exact same thing we're seeing from some of the McLarens. They're just not having a good time on that run downhill. A lot of people jumped into the McLaren after that win at Le Mans, but they are not showing stability in the rain unless they are this man here, Avocado, who runs in 2nd behind Mead at the moment. He's better on tire life and has the draft of the car ahead. Right now in this fight, I think Avocado is in the better position. For Avocado, he was fighting a Acura 2 weeks ago. Now it's a Lexus. This is a completely different set of car skills and driver abilities that he's going to have to work his way around. And with everyone running these wet tires in the rain, I very, very highly expect we're going to see a scenario where everyone's going to have to make 2 stops just because the tires are going to be falling off something vicious here. If someone somehow made it to about lap 16 or 17, honestly, then yes, you can make it on 1 stop. But I just see no way that anyone goes 17 laps on a set of tires here. Laps are too long. There's just not really a lot of areas around the circuit to save tire life. Avocado actually closed in on Mead through Al Rouge and Radion this time by, and didn't do his lost touch. So it seems like Avocado might be getting faster and stronger as this goes on. Avocado looking to the outside of Mead. Mead going to give it to him. He'll take a little bit more shallow entry into the corners, but Avocado is still stuck behind the Lexus right now. Jay Caesar has worked his way up into 10th now. As we see Avocado hounding Mead. Very much nose to tail. Mead seems to be dealing with a little bit of pressure. This is not something they has had to deal with early in these races. Typically, he runs kind of solo for the earlier parts of the race and turns a bunch of laps in clean air. We didn't see him do that last week, but last week was a lot of drafting focus. It didn't do it, stepped a little wide through there. All right, farther back, Jay Caesar has caught ludicrous speed. So the BMW driver trying to replicate what he did at Le Mans. He had a horrible start, lost a bunch of positions, but gradually made his way up and came home with a top 4 finish, 4th place finish. Jay Caesar trying now to replicate that run today. But the gaps in the field are growing, and that's not going to help him. At the front, though, Avocado trying to make the move. He looks on the outside coming into the chicane. He'll try the crossover coming out. Well, he looks for it, but that Lexus is better on acceleration. There was a little bit of bumper-to-bumper contact. That Lexus is so much better getting out of the corners. While I do think Avocado is faster over a lap, I don't think he's massively faster. I think the draft from that Lexus is helping. I do think that right now that Lexus generally is better. The big question is going to be tire life. It looks like Avocado is better at salvaging his tires than Mead is. But it's going to take a while to see how that actually plays out. Again, it seems like as the tires are falling off, Mead is struggling keeping that car under him through the Al Rouge and Radion section. So while Sector 1 at one point had been a massive advantage for Mead, now it seems to be going the other way. Avocado can be a little bit more cautious and just use the draft of the Lexus ahead to stay in touch. Little Caesar has suddenly dropped all the way back to 8th position. What has happened here? 9th now, and might even fall to 10th. Has he taken damage? No damage to the car, but Little Caesar, who had been in the top 5 positions, has now suddenly dropped to 10th behind his father, behind ludicrous speed. That's not going to help him one bit. One thing that does help, though, it means that Shredder is now running completely solo in the 4th spot. This is a fun little fight because now AMS and Doctro and the Dodge has caught the ass end of this battle. Run downhill into the double downhill left here. Jay Caesar went to the outside. Ludacris couldn't keep it there. He slid wide, and now his son goes right back by. Neither of the Caesars, father or son, seem to be having a good time of this here today. And we have a fight going on for 5th position. PM221 and SVR car key. They also have the BMW of U5 there as well. So a 3-man fight for the 5th spot has now begun to develop. McLaren Karki has been really struggling in a lot of these corners, but seems to be showing a lot of potential now. So it seems like the McLarens really come to life, at least compared to the rest of the field, as the tires fall off. Oh, and the Acura of PM goes way off start. He's going to fall behind U5. Will likely fall behind SPR as well. Lost a lot of time going wide like that. So PM now moves up into the 5th spot. Karki runs 6, as now being hounded from behind by that Acura. And U5 is starting to gap the 2 cars behind just a bit. Big dive bomb, and PM may have hit U5 there going into the hairpin corner. I think he did, because now U5's on push wide. PM now goes back into the 5th position, and Karki has a run on both of them. We'll try going side by side throughout Radion. No, they all stay single file through here. PM, U5, Karki is all sorts of sideways, and despite being completely sideways, he throws it 3 wide, as they're 3 wide down, they go down the camel straight, neck and neck, someone's getting to back out in the braking zone. Who's it gonna be? Into the braking zone, no one is showing signs of backing out of it. U5 goes deeper under the brakes, will get away from the 2 just a bit. Karki runs a bit offline there, and that will let PM solidify in 6, but only for a corner, because now Karki gets to fight back. That McLaren is really sideways, really trouble, a real handful to keep in a straight line, but my goodness, Karki is making something of it right now, cutting back and forth, trying to make these moves stick, as U5 is trying to inch away, and while these drivers are fighting, they are bringing Ludicrous Speed and the Caesar father-son duo up into the fray as well. Karki to the inside of PM. PM sliding just a little bit. That outside line, the double downhill left-hander is not ideal. And now Karki has gotten the position. Jay Caesar has just about caught Ludicrous, and Lil Caesar seems to have stabilized behind him right now. U5 starting to pull away from this Acura McLaren fight a bit. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, it is still Mead versus Avocado. As we've completed 8 laps into racing, Avocado's tires, 28s in the fronts, 29s in the rears. For Mead, what's it looking like for him? 29s in the fronts, 30s in the rear. So Avocado still has a roughly 1% advantage over Mead. Big track like Spa, 1% may not be enough to really give them a significant difference. The big risk for Mead is that if they both pit at the same time, well, what's going to happen then? What's the strategy if both of them pit at the same time and they both end up on track at the same point as well? I do know that Avocado was accused by Valkyrie. Oh, and here comes the move. Avocado to the outside of Mead. Neck and neck into the braking zone. Mead's trying to send it a little deeper. Avocado cuts the circuit just a bit. Mead still has the nose ahead into the following corner. And the Lexus holds the position just barely. Downhill now. But Avocado seems to be getting better as the stint is going on. And he's not the only one. Again, Karki was showing, although Karki has gone off, and Karki has slid back to 9th now. So Karki has lost a position to Jay Caesar, lost a position to Ludicrous Speed, and Ludicrous Speed is now closing in on PM for a fight for 6th now, as RZX is starting to scoot away. This fight for a lead is not done yet. If anything, I think this is the hottest it's been this entire run. Avocado looking at the outside of Mead. Not going to make it work. Tries to see if he can do a crossover, but there's just no room. Handling seems to be the McLaren's strength. That and tire management needs has been driver tire management, but also pure straight line speed. Both these drivers have beaten Valkyrie this season. Now they have to beat each other. PM has worked his way back by Ludicrous Speed now. And Ludicrous is now starting to fall back into the clutches of Jay Caesar. U5 is actually starting to lose ground to PM again. Here comes Avocado to the outside of Mead. Side by side in the braking zone. In the chicane, Avocado goes deep. They're going to be side by side coming out of the corner potentially. A little bit of contact, but Mead accelerates out. So it's gone from Avocado being comfortably behind Mead to Avocado now being side by side with Mead in some of these corners. He is getting more and more frisky, and as these two are fighting, Dindu is now starting to close in on them just a little bit. A lot of movement going on in the midfield, but this fight at the front is absolutely electric right now. Avocado has a gigantic run on the Lexus. The Lexus had the worst run through the hours ready on corners yet, and Avocado's had the best run. It's a drag race down the Camel Straight again. Avocado outside, Mead on the inside. Mead still has the bumper ahead as they come into the corner, and will slot the Lexus back ahead of the McLaren. A little bit smoother this time than where it was last time. Looking back once again at this fight now, we're about 6th on back. PM, Ludicrous Speed, Jay Caesar, Lil Caesar, all there, and SVR Karki isn't too far behind either. Ludicrous on the outside. And the Chevy, he's trying to make it work, but that Honda engine, the Acura, has such a good acceleration, unless we get right back ahead of Ludicrous. Ludicrous now gets to the inside, side by side, downhill corners, and the BMW is pushed by another BMW. Father-son action going on behind. 5 cars so close to throw a blanket over them right now. PM has the position for the moment. Ludicrous wants it back, and here come the Caesars. All right, that's Jay Caesar, Caesar the Elder. He is tucked up right behind the Honda. Ludicrous is going to be trapped on the outside, so is Little Caesar. Those two cars might go off the circuit here. Jay Caesar is going to get to the inside of Ludicrous. PM is sideways in front of the entire group and keeps the entire group all bundled up here. Karki in 10th is the one that goes off. 5 cars all on top of each other. I've not seen them get this excited for a long time. PM221 and Ludicrous still side by side. Jay Caesar lunges to the inside. Little Caesar tries to make it 3 wide. He has to back out of it. That lets PM hold on to 6 for just a corner. Now they come to the next following set of corners. The initial acceleration should help the Acura, but draft should work in favor of the Chevrolet that is in 7th. Those BMWs slide really, really wide, and now Karki begins to set up a move on Lil Caesar. Ludicrous Speed has a run. He's starting to build against PM221 right now. Side by side for 9th, while 6th and 7th get closer and closer. But Ludicrous does not seem to have that stability in that high-speed bid. He loses a bunch of time. 2 PM. Jay Caesar now makes a big slide dive bomb into the corner of Ludicrous. Ludicrous tries to cut him off. They'll be side by side on corner exit. Who's got the better acceleration? It's going to be Caesar. That was a fantastic move by Caesar. Ludicrous made a big shot to try and defend, but just could not make that car work. And now Ludicrous slips to 8th. Jay Caesar now in 7th, looking at PM for 6th. Karki had a big off moment as well, and Lil Caesar's lost a bunch of time in relation to this in the process. But this has been some absolutely electric fighting here at the head of the field, right? Well, not in the head of the field, at the middle of the field right now. So now the question is, for the leaders, are they going to try and make it exactly halfway on their tires, try to one-stop it? We may be looking at a scenario where one-stopping this race might be possible if you are good on tire life. Jay Caesar trying to make something on PM221, neck and neck. PM221, second place finisher in the championship back in Season 1 in 2018, trying to fight back, cannot keep that ExxonMobil BMW behind, and now PM has opened up to Ludicrous Speed, the man he lost that Season 1 championship to. Nose to tail as they run downhill once again, but it looks like Jay Caesar, after that horrible start, has started to get his bearings back. He's making moves back up through the field. He is 6th, but his biggest rival in the championship is still the leader right now, Mead. And real quickly, we look once again at our leaders. This is AMS Mead keeping NDL Avocado behind. We expect that Mead is struggling a little bit more with his tires than Avocado is, and that's been a strength that Mead has had, so having to now fight against the car that may have better tires could be interesting. The bigger thing, though, is that the straight line speed of the Lexus has been enough to keep the McLaren behind without too much trouble. They were fighting for about 2 laps and let Dindu close in a bit, but it seems like they've calmed down for the moment, and they're now starting to gap the Ferrari that's in 3rd a little bit. Also, SRD Shredder in 4th place is basically in permanent no man's land. He's not fast enough to catch the drivers ahead, but he's too fast to be caught by the drivers behind. And now here comes Avocado to the outside of Mead again. I don't see this working. He's tried this move several times over. It's not worked any time before. It doesn't work this time. I wonder if he's just trying to preserve momentum and keep himself from falling into a rhythm of just staying behind that Lexus. They come across the line. 12 racing laps in the books right now. If these drivers can make it to lap 17 and pit on the 17th lap, so it'd be 16 racing laps, and they would be fine and be able to make it to the end on just a single stop. It's going to be a big if, though. That is likely the strategy they're trying to go for. So the fight for 6 continues. Jay Caesar has it. PM221 wants it, and Ludicrous Speed is not that much farther behind. It's a draft as they run down into the hairpin once again. The Acura has such an extreme advantage in initial acceleration out of these corners. The BMW has had slightly better handling, and it looks like, at least for a day, that BMW has better acceleration than the Acura. He is pulling away from PM out of the hairpin, still pulling away as they run down into Al Rouge and now up into Radion. This big fight seems to have pretty much solidified at this point. Jay Caesar is faster than everyone here. It's taking him a long time, but he is recovering from that nasty first lap that he had. Ludicrous Speed trying to close in on the car ahead. Good luck to you on that. But right now, this is a really interesting scenario. Our top 4 drivers, all within 9 seconds of each other. 5th place is 19, nearly 20 seconds out from the leader. The gap from the top 4 to everyone else is absolutely gigantic today. Dindu does have one advantage over the 2 cars ahead of him. It is anticipated that his tires are being managed even better than the 2 leaders right now. But again, if it's only by a 1 or 2% advantage, that might not be enough to give him a significant advantage when it comes to an in-lap or an out-lap. Not to mention, if these drivers here at the front are able to make it a single-stop race, which I think they're trying to do here, 41% tire life right now for Mead, and he's going to be the worst of the 3. 41%, and we're not quite 12 racing laps through. You do the math. These drivers are going to have to be pushing their tires deep through the 50s, potentially even into the 60s here. We're going to look at his tires once again. 43's in the rear. If he's at 48% at the line, then he would be going through about 4% a lap. But it would be a little, the numbers will be a little bit skewed because the very first lap, you're not really burning up the tires here. So it's not going to be quite 4% a lap. It's going to be probably a little bit closer to 3.7% a lap right now for tire life for our lead driver right now. Probably closer to about 3.6% tire life for our lead driver. You do the math. If you're burning through 3.6% of your tire life each lap on average, you have to make it 17%. These drivers would be in the 60% tire life at the end of lap 17. You could go ahead and try paint on 16, but that means you have 17 straight laps of green flag racing at the end, and the tires will be even worse. It would honestly be better for all of these drivers to go ahead and pit at the end of lap 17 if they can make it. So PTG Jay Caesar has cleared PM221, but U5 is another 6 seconds up the road. It's going to be really hard for Jay Caesar to try and close that gap down. This is an absolute knockout, drag-out fight. Ludicrous, Karki, PM221 cannot get away from each other. Little Caesar seems to have completely lost the plot, though. He is now where his father was. He's going to be stuck fighting with Indoctor, likely to the end of this race. Carrera may have had some sort of instinct early on. I'm not sure what, but he has slipped to 12. He does not seem to be able to make the McLaren work in the same way that Karki or Avocado has. NFL Racer is stabilized in 13. FME Sports does not seem to have any speed whatsoever. It's likely that he will go a lap down by once this race is over. Bit of a gap has opened between first and second at this stage of the race, and they both have opened nearly a 6-second gap on third place Dindu, so it looks like we will not have a new winner today. It looks like it will just be either Mead or Avocado adding another win to their tally, unless they both have some sort of tremendous issue. Oh my goodness, what in the devil? Was that Little Caesar completely sideways? It looked like Little Caesar came into the corner completely sideways. Somehow has now been caught by the Dodge and Doctro. So Avocado runs behind Mead at the moment. Avocado not really in contention for a championship. He's missed too many races to do so. But being here and able to steal wins could make winning the championship for Mead or Caesar or anyone else a lot harder, because if he starts stealing wins, that's fewer points that are on the table for the drivers who've actually been here for the full season. I jokingly said to Shredder, who runs the series, earlier that initially you didn't have to show up to all the races to win a championship, because there was a challenge system that IESC was known for, where you could take some very interesting, unique challenges to add more points or multiply the points that you would earn in the race. But that system was removed because no one attempted it in the first 2 weeks. And now, because that system is removed but the points have not been changed to compensate, yes, now IESC has turned into a championship where you have to show up every week to bring home points. Now these two drivers have opened up 6 seconds on Dindu. The interesting thing is that they are not pulling away from Shredder at the same rate they are pulling away from Dindu. Shredder is slowly closing in on third. I don't know if he's going to catch him, but that might be a fight to keep an eye on, the fight for third. It would be Shredder's first podium this season if he makes it stick. Mead still holding station over Avocado. McLaren is very plainly fast enough, I think. Might be a little bit faster if he can get ahead, but he's having trouble even just staying side by side out of the corner. The Lexus is just so much faster coming out of the corners, and in a driver versus driver fight, acceleration out of the corner is where the battles will always be won. But if it's going to be a lap time fight, it's going to be corners where it's always won. Avocado's got a car that I think is faster, but as long as he's stuck in a fight with Mead, Mead's going to beat him in this acceleration. Now, if it goes the other way around and Avocado ends up ahead of Mead, I don't know how good that Lexus's acceleration is going to be, if it will be enough to overcome a deficit coming out of the corner. My goodness, both cars sliding all sorts of ways coming into Sector 3 here. Mead missed the corner, and Avocado now coming around the outside. This could be it. Mead botched the corner in the hairpin chicane. It is a drag race. Mead on the outside. He's got the car faster. He'll get into the corner faster. He'll cut down in front of Avocado. Avocado takes a tighter line, though. He's got his nose ahead. Drag race again downhill. So the McLaren just keeps getting better and better relative to the Lexus as this tire sit goes on. Into Al Rouge, into Radion. McLaren fires out of that corner like he's being shot out of a cannon. Tucked up right behind the Lexus. He's going to try and make a move this time. Mead defends the inside line. Avocado just staying in place. Now he looks to the outside. A little bit too late. But at least he won't hit the Lexus from behind. Now that moment of side-by-side cut the gap they had over Dindu down by about a second. But Dindu is still about 5 seconds behind right now. Avocado looking to the outside. Mead's going to give it to him. Brake and try to trap the McLaren on the outside in this really, really slow corner. Not quite a hairpin, but it's a 180-degree corner. We don't want to get caught out there. Avocado fell for it and slips back behind Mead for the moment. Lexus is showing weakness, a lot of weakness. He still has to get through this lap and at least one more. But Avocado just seems to be getting faster and faster as the stint is going on. McLaren, a little bit wide. It's not like it's easy, but I think that relative to the Lexus, the McLaren is falling off less than the Lexus is falling off a lot worse than the McLaren is as this run goes through here. And it looks like the entire field is going to be able to make this a single-stop race. I did not think the wet tires would go far enough for it to be a single-stop race, but it looks like that's what we're looking at here. Avocado not quite as close to Mead this time, going into the chicane. Mead really struggling. You can see the rear end sliding under braking. He's still got that initial acceleration out of the chicane though. Starting our 16th racing lap, 17 overall. This, at the end of this lap, is when I'm anticipating we will see our leaders and basically the entire field make their, what will likely be, one and only pit stop today. RZX, U5 is going to pit in 5th position. So U5, we're going to have to keep an eye on him because he's going to have to go 17 laps on wet tires to the end of this race. He is not the only one. SVR Karki in 8th is doing the exact same thing as well. So keep an eye on that duo because they might end up losing a lot of lap time in the last 2 laps of this race as their tires are going to be in a horrible position. Oh my goodness, Dindu completely lost the plot back there. Dindu really wide. I think he's kept it on track, but that has dropped him from being only about 4.5 seconds back to about 5.5 seconds back, if not more. If it keeps up like this, there is a serious chance that Shredder will catch Dindu by the end of this race. I'm not saying it will happen, but that does look like a possibility. All right, Avocado's still tucked up right behind me right now. Looks like a lot of drivers in the back half of the field made some pit stops here. So those drivers in the back betting either on a yellow flag to give them track position or betting on being able to manage their tires better in the latter half of the race here. Jay Caesar is high as 5th. This is the highest he has been all day, but he is still nearly 30 seconds out from the leaders. Seems like it's the same story, different day for him. Caesar has just never been able to keep pace with the leaders over a full stint of a race. He can be good for a few laps, but has just not ever had the pace to actually keep up from the start of a fuel run to the end of a fuel run. Avocado runs right behind the Lexus still. The McLaren has closed back in. They're going to be right on top of each other. I'm really curious. As I was going to say earlier, Valkyrie said that Avocado may have had a car that was geared for better pit lane entry and exit. That has been a glitch that we've noticed since Forza 7, that a good gearbox will let you get in and out of the pits better. If that is true, if Avocado has a better gearbox getting in and out of the pits, that could be huge. Here come our leaders into the pits now. And our 3rd place will pit as well. So will our 4th place. So will our 5th place. In fact, I'm anticipating everyone's going to be pitting. I'm really interested to see if this pit decision of stopping 1 lap early will help RZX U5 any. He's got basically an entire lap in relatively clean track, but he will have had to spend this entire time getting the heat back into the tires. Avocado is overtaking Mead in pit lane for the moment. We'll see shortly if he maintains it, though. Everyone in the top 7 pitting right now. And yes, it looks like that was it. Avocado just ahead of the Lexus. So yes, it does seem like Avocado has better gearing. Either better gearing or he doesn't have to put as much fuel in the tank. So Avocado now ahead of Mead. And unless Avocado has a bad run here and Mead runs him down this lap, I think this is going to be race over. It looks like the pit road is going to be what decides this race win. It won't be driver skill, although credit to Avocado for being able to stay behind Mead without wrecking each other. But it looks like it will just come down to pit lane. Then again, Avocado did have that big off at Le Mans in the final stint that cost him about 5 seconds. Now he did claw it back because he still had better tires. But right now, Avocado, he now has track position. He's in a car that's going to be better in the corners. Oh, but he's sliding. He is struggling right now, getting the tires up to heat. And Mead's got to his inside. This is not over. So Mead now on the offense rather than the defense. A little bit of a push. The McLaren is sideways. The Lexus is right behind. This might not be over yet. Avocado was not able to get by Mead. Can Mead maybe get by Avocado? And McLaren is sideways. The Lexus is sideways as well. The Lexus actually loses a bit of time. Dindu is actually closed just a little bit. Oh, and Mead lunged! Mead lunged by Avocado! And he's by! He's through! Avocado looks to the inside! Makes contact on the Lexus! Both of them are sideways! both cars sideways. Avocado now dives to the inside. Side by side for a lead. So they're even on tires, even on everything for right now. Avocado will have the inside as they come into the chicane. Mead will be on the outside. I think this is going to go in Avocado's favor. Heavy under brakes. Mead lunges a little bit more. Avocado slides the rear tires a bit. Mead pushes the McLaren wide, then gets pushed wide himself. Drag race down the start-finish line. At the line, if that was the finish, Avocado would have just barely got it. But Avocado is back ahead of the Lexus now. Mead looks to the outside. He's going to try and make the long way around work and then cross over on exit. But Avocado has that great run. That McLaren is just so much better in the corners. But Mead's got draft. Mead's got straight line speed. Now they come into Al Rouge and Radeon. Not a great run through the corners for Mead. He's lost a lot of time to Avocado. NFL Racer pits now. NFL Racer actually stretched his tires a little longer than everyone else. U5 currently in 5th, about 5 seconds up from Jay Caesar. Mead looked to make a lunge, but Avocado closed that door off early. Seems to me like that pit lane gearbox setup might be all that matters. It might be what gives Avocado the position. Mead hits Avocado in behind. He backs out. Doesn't want to take the position like that. Indu is now within 4 seconds for the first time in several laps. Big thing we saw in the first stint, though, as the stint went on, Mead and Avocado both got worse, but Avocado did not fall off nearly as much as Mead did. So for Mead, he knows that he's going to have to get by the McLaren sooner rather than later. I don't think he has what it takes. Indu really struggling back there, but he is still closing because the top two are keep fighting. So this is the corner that Avocado got passed in last lap, but this time he keeps Mead behind. Looks to me like this fight might be over as long as Avocado doesn't make a mistake. He's not perfect. He is prone to mistakes. He's just lost a bunch of time in that corner there. And oh my goodness, is he wide? Mead closes in the straights, but now in this high-speed bend, the McLaren shoots out of there like a cannon, and there's nothing that Mead can do. The Lexus just does not have the straight line speed. Mead setting up for a lunge, cannot make it stick. Mead trying to straight line the chicane. On the run out, Avocado has the position. Mead is right behind. It's a drag race now to the hairpin once again. But Avocado even better off now than where they were last time, and they've slowed down. There may have been an accident. Little Caesar may have had an accident here. Oh my goodness, the car is destroyed. Significant damage to Little Caesar. And we have a caution. Little Caesar is going to have to limp this thing around. The engine destroyed, the steering destroyed, everything in this car destroyed in an accident in the Al Rouge Radeon corners. And we have a yellow flag, and this will bunch the entire field up. Now, everyone who pitted a lap early will still have burned up a little bit more of their tires, but this could help negate the difference a bit for everyone who pitted basically the same lap, though this just means their tires, in theory, should be a little bit better at the end of this run. For NFL Racer, he has a slight advantage because he will have the least amount of tire wear of everyone here on track. But Little Caesar's so slow right now, the leaders are likely going to lap him before he even gets to pit lane. I look real quickly at FM Esports. Esports is... his tires are cooked, but I don't think he's made a stop yet. So Esports is going to be kind of caught the odd man out. He has lost touch with the leaders. He has to rush around, catch the back of the field. You can't pit under the yellow flag, so he will catch the rear of the field. But when he does, he's going to have to pit coming to the green flag. He'll be closer to the rest of the field, but he's not going to really be able to capitalize on this whatsoever. He'll have better tires, but he's just been so many seconds off lap after lap. It's just, I hate to say it, I think for FME Sports, he's basically relegated to a 14th place finish. Little Caesar will inevitably pit with him. And when that happens, I imagine that Little Caesar will easily blitz away from esports. So right now, the leaders just behind Little Caesar, who is in a very, very badly damaged BMW. And he's going to have to take emergency service. This is going to be a really long yellow flag just because it's going to take so long for last place to catch. SVR Carrera is almost caught the rear of the field. NFL Racer is another few seconds out. So Avocado has not run on a restart in IESC yet. Now he has to lead the field on a restart here. So it looks like NFL Racer has caught the rear of the field now. So everyone except for FME Sports is gathered up, but FME Sports is still the better part of 30 seconds off the back of the field right now. Game says it's like 78 seconds, so. I don't know, if they're gonna wait on FME Sports, we could be under yellow for another lap. But if we're gonna go green this time by, Little Caesar will pit coming to the green flag and then immediately end up a lap down. But if we stay green, if we stay under yellow for another lap, then Little Caesar will get a chance to circle back around to the back of the field here, although he will have to pit again, coming to the green. This is good news for Ludicrous Speed and SRD Shredder. Those two drivers are right behind Little Caesar in points. And again, Little Caesar, it's almost guaranteed this will be his last race. Okay, so Little Caesar in the pits now. Are we going to go green this time or not? That's the real question. Because FME Sports has not caught the rear of the field. But I don't know if they're going to wait on somebody who's been several seconds a lap slower all day long. No, we stay under the yellow flag. So Little Caesar goes a lap down now. This will really help everyone manage their tires, I imagine. Their tires won't be very badly cooked at the end of this. That could help Mead out a bit. Again, that Lexus burned through his rubber a little faster than Avocado did, but now the difference isn't going to be as extreme as it was before. The other thing didn't do was doing a little bit better on tire management with the two drivers ahead. Now he's going to be caught right up to them as well. Shredder, who was about the same pace as didn't do, might have a fight for gaining the podium. This could really upend things. Jay Caesar, who was in 6th, at one point he was outside the top 10. Now he's 6th, but if he gets a good restart, he could move up a bunch of positions here and maybe steal a podium finish. So FME Sports is pitting under this yellow flag as well. So he will likely have to pit coming to the green also. Little Caesar has caught the rear of the field, but he is a lap down, and I don't know if they're going to let him get a lap back, or at least run ahead to try and get a lap back. It might not be in the cards. And with how big of a circuit Spa-Francorchamps is, being trapped a lap down here is basically a death sentence. Alright, so FME Sports is rushing to catch the rear of the field now. He's still 40 seconds behind the leaders. It's going to take all this lap to try and catch the back of the field for him. And interestingly enough, Avocado is not really keeping heat in his tires. He's just kind of going at a pace in a straight line. And Mead is the one I'm seeing swerving the tires, trying to keep heat in them. Now, I don't believe our tire data is good enough to really give us an idea as to what the temperature of the tires are looking like. But it says Avocado's not having any trouble here. It says he's comfortably in the 200 range. For Mead, is he also in the 200 range? It says his tires are worse, but he's doing a lot more even to try and keep temperatures and So yeah, it seems like whatever the McLaren has in the setup, that car, unless our data is wrong, that car is doing better on tire heat than anything else. All right, so Mead is at 10% tire life. And Avocado, I would assume, is going to be at 9%. No, he's also at 10, so both of our leaders are at 10% tire life, so they seem to be pretty even on tire life right now. Little Caesar has been let to go on ahead to try and get a lap back here, I guess, as he is a lap down. But he is going to have to make a mandated pit stop now because he did pit under the yellow flag. I don't know if that's going to apply to FME Sports as well. Oh, and that's an Acura that just went off. I think it was PM who went off back there. I don't know what happened there. All right, so we'll be coming to the green flag this time. Little Caesar has been set free to try and get his mandated extra stop in early. And then he's going to have to race to try and stay on the lead lap compared to the field here. Out of the final corner. Everyone's single file. Coming to the green flag this time. Mead right behind Avocado. The green is out. The top three had a relatively good start. Immediately Avocado defends the inside and Mead goes to the outside. Neck and neck, side by side for a top spot into the first corner. And it's the Ferrari that's got a good run on the inside, trying to make something happen against the Lexus. Both of them are a little bit faster than the McLaren right now. Contact between second and third. Dindu is the one who will back out of it right now. Oh my goodness, Mead bounced over a curve. He's all sorts of sideways. Shredder is by. Dindu is almost by. Now Mead uses the acceleration to get back in front of them. I think that's race over. Avocado is clear of the field. That's race win over. So now Mead just needs to keep Dindu and Shredder behind. Dindu has missed a race, so I don't think he's really in championship contention, but Shredder is in championship contention. So race win over. Avocado basically guaranteed to win just because of a bad restart by Mead. Entire field trapped right on top of each other right now. Somehow FME Sports was not required to pit again under the yellow. But he's already losing touch with the rear of the grid, so I'm not sure if that's really going to mean anything. But yeah, Avocado has already opened up the gap on Mead. Oh, Shredder way wide, and here comes U5. Jay Caesar still 6. He did not pick up positions, which is what I thought he might have been able to do. Now, he's not lost anything, but I thought he was going to be able to pick up positions on this restart. Mead is actually close back in on Avocado. This is the part of the circuit here, Sector 3, where it starts to go good for the Lexus, and then it falls apart because he just can't maintain the speed in the high-speed bend. That is the third to last corner. If he can get to the inside of the McLaren, maybe he could make it stick. He tried, but you see right there, it's just not happening. Ooh, that Ferrari in third, all sorts of sideways. Does Mead lunge in the corner? No, he stays in line. Now out of the chicane and down the straight once again. That run out of the corner. Avocado carries so much more speed through the corners that even if Mead is faster in a straight line, it doesn't matter. Right now, the tables are turned for good. There is nothing that the Lexus can do to the McLaren ahead. And that Ferrari of Dindu is doing good to stay in touch in third, but it is very obvious just watching this that he is not at the speed of our top two drivers here. Oh my goodness, that's the Acura PM221, really wide back there. Jay Caesar moves by U5. Here comes Mead. Does he have a run? He's looking to the inside. Avocado gives him the inside. Neck and neck into the braking zone. Avocado trapped on the outside will be the inside in the following corner. Side by side. They're still side by side. Mead's got the car ahead. It's not over yet. He's made this move once before that Avocado got back by. And they're just about to catch Little Caesar. laps traffic in the form of Little Caesar could end up really playing havoc here. Oh, the Lexus is wide. Boy, is that Lexus wide, and so is the Ferrari. Little Caesar moves aside, doesn't want to end up being a problem for the leaders here. Mead has the position. Avocado has a better run through the double downhill left-hander. He's got to the inside to make contact once, twice. He pushes the Lexus wide. Drag race. Mead inside. But now the McLaren will crossover. That was a little dirty, but he made it stick. Not the crossover. The crossover was clean. It was the moving the double left-hander that was a little dirty. He got in the meet and just forced them off the line, but he completed the pass legitimately and cleanly. It seems to me that, yes, Avocado is absolutely faster than Mead. Mead can dominate in a single corner, but by doing so, he compromises a corner later, and Avocado is just so much better around the entirety of the circuit that even when he compromises one corner to get back by later, he's not compromising as bad as Mead is. Dindu has caught the rear of this grid, so has SRD Shredder once again. As they come to the line, it will be 10 laps to go. Shredder does not seem to have the pair. Oh, there's the dive by the Lexus, but now we'll get crossed over on corner exit by Avocado. But Mead had the better run out. It's a drag race down the hill, and here comes Dindu in the Ferrari. They're still side by side. Someone has to back out in the corner. Neither of them do. They make contact twice. Here comes Dindu with speed. Here comes Shredder with speed. All four of them on top of each other. Dindu out of nowhere on the extreme outside. Here's Shredder, and Avocado has slipped to fourth. Mead inside. Outside is Dindu. Extreme outside Shredder. 3 wide under braking. And Shredder is going to lunge. He goes deep. He goes off. Dindu slides off a bit as well. Mead holds the position. Dindu, though, has shown that he is here to play. He looks to the inside of the Lexus, can't make a move stick. Now Avocado looks to his inside. Oh, and Will Caesar has left. Not surprised he was a lap down. His race was basically over. Still a shame. Mead holds on over Dindu, and Avocado runs right behind. Shredder is in fourth. Jay Caesar is in fifth. The highest he's run basically all day. Well, since the initial start of the race, that is. Dindu is now the one pressuring Mead in the Lexus. The Ferrari has been in a mostly invisible third most of the day, but the leaders of Avocado and Mead fighting so aggressively has let the Ferrari come up and make a move. Now he is in second, pressuring the Lexus ahead for position. Coming in the party right now is PTG Little Caesar. Little Caesar, go, if you can include your audio, go ahead and include your audio. Big accident in Al Rouge and Radion. What happened?
Honestly, it's just me, I think. I didn't do any practice until the practice lobby opened. So it's kind of my fault, and now I just can't find the drinking car. It's just sliding about. It's bottoming out at Rouge. It's just throwing the rear end out of control and death. So yeah, it's on me, but it's what it is.
A big instant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was likely to be your last race for the IESC GT series. Am I correct?
Yeah, this is my last race. I'm withdrawing once I've probably in about 5 minutes. I'll withdraw. But yeah, overall it's been good racing over the series, but it's been fun. But yeah, it's a bummer to end like this, but it is what it is.
right, well, I'll ask one last question then before you leave. From everything you've seen thus far this season, who do you think has the best shot at winning this championship? It looks like now that Valkyrie has missed the race, the points battle is open between your father, Mead, and Valkyrie. Who do you think has the best chance of winning the title?
I'm gonna put my money on Mead.
Not even your father. Wow, okay.
Nah.
All right, well, I appreciate the honesty. I don't know how much your father will appreciate, but I appreciate the honesty. Out of the way, thanks for jumping in. I do hope to see you, if not running with GTs in IESC, at least something else that IESC will be running in the future, like Japanese Grand Touring cars, or Miatas, or something else in the future. We enjoyed having you running with us.
I will be coming back in the future, so.
All right, thanks for jumping in. Have a good day, mate. As we turn our focus back onto the racetrack once again, it seems like Avocado has been caught in a moment of weakness, and now he is starting to lose the plot a bit. He is still within a second of the leaders, but he is not on track with Mead and Dindu. Mead trying to go for his second win. Dindu wants his first win. The Ferrari is showing strength. He now dives to the inside into the chicane. Both the Ferrari and the Lexus go a little wide. Here comes the McLaren of Avocado on Mead now, and Dindu goes to the front. Dindu has not led laps for a while, but he is back in front now, and Shredder has gotten by Avocado. Shredder has gotten by the McLaren. Well, it's not complete yet, because now through turn 1, Avocado and the McLaren will get back by, but Shredder is fighting for a legit podium on potential pace here. And it is Dindu who is now at the head of this field in the Ferrari. We have not seen a Ferrari win in the IESC GT category since season 1. It has been a long time since we have had a Ferrari win in this series. Could Dindu turn that around? Well, it's too early to say. We still have 7 laps to go. 8 laps. Sorry, 8 laps to go. This fight is not over. I want to see Avocado seems a lot slower. Has he damaged the engine or something? There's no signs of engine damage on Avocado's car. He just seems to be a little bit shaken after that big move by Dindu. And mind you, Dindu and Avocado both come from the NDL group. Being such surprised by someone on your own team like that really must have gotten to his head. But Dindu now out in front, just barely over me. First half of this race, for those of you who are just now turning in, the first half of this race, Mead, while he didn't have the pole position, took top spot early on, and Mead walked off with Avocado. Avocado pressured Mead, and as that first run on the fuel and tires burned off, McLaren got better and better compared to the Lexus. When they made their pit stops, the McLaren ended up ahead of the Lexus, and while they exchanged positions about twice, it was the McLaren that was ahead. Then the yellow flag happened as Lil Caesar, who at one point had been as high as 4th, had a big accident. Now Rouge and Radion brought out the yellow, bunched the field up about 2 laps after the pit stops for the entire field were done. And then when we went green, for the first lap, it looked like Avocado had me comfortably behind, but they spent so much time fighting that it let Dindu make a big run coming out of Al Rouge. They were 3 wide for the lead for a moment, with Shredder there as well. In the end, it is Dindu who is ahead of me. Avocado is slipped to 3rd as he is trying to keep the Mercedes of Shredder behind him. Is right there though. The Lexus is not letting the Ferrari get away, but one thing to consider, the Ferrari has had better tire wear than either the Lexus of Mead or the McLaren of Avocado. So things could work out in the Ferrari's favor. Mind you, these two were 2 of the drivers fighting near the end at the Sebring race, which was the other wet race we've had this season. Now Mead has a run. He's on the outside. It's a drag race. The Lexus is faster in a straight line. He might be able to complete the overtake coming into the braking zone. He does. The Ferrari falls back in line. Now he makes a dive. The Lexus defends. He brakes hard. They make contact. Lexus is ahead now. So Mead is not done with it yet, and while they did that, it brought Avocado back into play. So Avocado is now in position to maybe steal a spot if these two fight again like that. And Shredder is still there in fourth. Shredder is not as fast as these three, but these three drivers ahead keep making mistakes that's keeping them in position. If one of them have a big incident, a big hiccup, go off circuit, it looks like, I think, Shredder could snipe a third. I think a win is out of the question for him, but if one of these drivers go way off, Shredder's gonna go right into the third spot. Mead is really wide in the double downhill left-hander. Here it comes, big contact. They're side by side. Dindu goes nearly off the circuit. They're running nose and tail right behind each other into the corner. Around here. Excuse me, 1 second. Alright, I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Mead continues to hold his station over Dindu right now. Avocado runs in third, right behind. Shredder starting to lose touch just a little bit. Run into the chicane once again. Mead is going to defend the inside. Does the Ferrari look to the outside? He will look to the outside. They'll be briefly side by side under braking. Avocado is going to try and cross over Dindu to steal second back. Can he make it stick coming out of the chicane? All right, running down the front straightaway once again. It is 6 laps to go now. Dindu holds station over Avocado, but it looks to me like the fight is now second and third. Can Avocado do anything to Dindu? Oh, maybe not. That McLaren went really wide in the corner this time, and it brought Shredder right back into play. The McLaren seems to have kind of lost his touch a little bit in turn one. All right, Mead has gotten a decent run over Dindu. This is the best run he's had out of Alves and Radion for a while. Now the Ferrari is being stressed by the McLaren behind. Dindu defends the inside, now defends the outside. Will Avocado make a dive under braking? Not this time. He actually brakes a little earlier than the Ferrari by the looks of it. Oh, and Mead went off! Mead went off circuit. Dindu is right there again. So Mead, even though he got a big gap over Dindu, made a mistake there. Are we under the yellow? They feel like they're still going pretty fast. So I don't think they're under the yellow, but all of a sudden Jay Caesar is now in play. Mead, no, they're still at full speed. Mead is holding on. It looks like all four of these drivers are all building each other so much up now that Jay Caesar is legitimately closing in. But Mead holds the top spot. Dindu is second. Avocado is third. Big twitch by the Ferrari in second. Trying to close back in on the Lexus once more. Mead is not showing invincibility though. Any one of our top three drivers could legitimately pull this win off. It may just come down to right move and then minimizing mistakes afterwards. Could we have already seen that move? Could Mead's big run on Dindu down the backstretch been the big move that wins him the race? Still a lot of laps left. Oh, that Ferrari is really struggles in sector 3. Avocado has a run on him. He's not going to make a big dive into the braking zone or anything. Ferrari now holding station behind Mead once again. Opens the gap on Avocado just a little bit. And Shredder is right there behind Avocado again. And yes, Jay Caesar he's now only about 3 seconds out, but he has gotten to fifth. It just seems like fifth is the best he can do. I don't think he can do anything better here. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 spots. Dindu hit the grass, was all sorts of sideways up the hill. Avocado goes off as well, trying to set up for a move. The man lost a little bit too much time. All right, down the back straight once again, and both second and third are closing on Mead in a straight line. Does Mead miss the braking zone again? No, doesn't look like it. So while Dindu got really sideways in Al Rouge, it looked like it was straighter than what Mead ran. Again, as we saw the tires fall off in the last stint, the Lexus got worse and worse in the third to last corner at high speed, bend to the left, and then also the Al Rouge Radion complex. This is not over. Mead is faster for most of the corners and most of the track over Dindu, but Dindu is so much better than Mead in those handful of corners that negates most of it. I think these two are pretty much even on lap time. Mead might have a slight advantage, but Dindu can kind of counter it with all this draft that he's getting. And right now, the top 7 all running within 4 seconds of each other. Somehow, PM and Ludacris, who had been running way higher up the order, they are 10 seconds out the back of the grid. AMS and Doctor is currently 10th. SVR Carrera is in 11th, just staying ahead of NFL Research. And FME Sports is about 50 seconds off the lead pace. He is going to finish on the lead lap in 13th at least. Oh my goodness, the McLaren is off! The McLaren is off! What happened to Avocado? He is off. He's stopped. Has something gone wrong? He just pulled off. There's no damage to the car as far as I can tell, but something has happened to Avocado. He's left. Avocado has left. What happened? What happened to Avocado? As Dindu comes to the outside. Mead holds on to the position. Dindu is second. Shredder now may be in position to steal third. In fact, it's almost guaranteed he can steal third as long as he stays ahead of Jay Caesar. The fight for the win is still on, though. It is still Dindu versus Mead. Up the hill. Big twitch by the Ferrari, but it looks like it's good enough to keep him in the Lexus's draft. Mead defending the inside line, now goes to the outside. Dindu looks to the outside, not going to make the move here. There's only 4 laps left in this race. Dindu is running out of time if he wants to make the move. The good news, though, is that now with Avocado gone, he doesn't have to deepen this hard behind. He can put as much focus forward as he wants. We don't know what happened to Avocado, who just pulled off circuit, came to a stop, and then left the race. This moves Jay Caesar also up into the 4th position, so while Mead would open the gap on him in the points, that gap that he is opening has been less and less compared to what it was at the end of lap 1. Ferrari continues to still run right behind the Lexus. Both cars slide really wide out of that corner. Oh! Mead's off! What? Mead's gone off now. Was that a mistake? It may have been a mistake. Mead may have gone off by mistake. Dindu's now in the front and Mead's gone off. Shredder now is in second. Jay Caesar is in third. And suddenly the points battle gets turned on its head a bit. Dindu could put himself into outside contention for the championship with this, but he needs to hold on. He cannot afford any mistakes. And Mead, who is now out of the top 5, he is in 6th, has to start making up ground. He's not been perfect all day long today. He's made a lot of small mistakes, and now we see a big mistake. And Jay Caesar now in 3rd, Shredder in 2nd, and it is Dindu who is at the front. This could be huge. Dindu now sees Shredder close in within half a second. The Mercedes of Shredder is starting to come to life here. We saw in the first stint that as the stint ran down, the Mercedes was a little bit faster than the Ferrari. Was that just Dindu holding his best back? Or are we going to legitimately see potentially Shredder, who's not even been a serious fight for the top 3 for the first half of the day, maybe fight for the win? They're within a second of each other right now. Within a third of a second, within a quarter, Shredder has a run on Dindu. Shredder has not won in the GT series since, I believe, the very first season. He looks to the outside. Drag race, neck and neck. Mind you, when Shredder won his very first race in IESC GT, it was in a ring race in a European track. That one was at Brands Hatch, and Shredder had his nose ahead for a moment, but it looks like Dindu holds the position for now. Shredder trying the crossover on corner exit. Dindu has it. Now Shredder is there. This fight is very much alive. The complexity of this race continues to change lap after lap. Shredder is trying to break a winless streak in the GT series that goes back many, many, many years. Dindu holding on though. He's trying to fight for his first ever win. As it stands right now though, we will see a new first-time winner, a new winner this season unless something bizarre happens to our top tour finishers. Oh, Dindu is offline, and Shredder's got to run. Shredder on the outside, Dindu inside, neck and neck, side by side for position. They're still side by side. Dindu outside, Shredder inside, but now Dindu will have the ideal line coming into the following corner. When they come to the line, it will be lap 32 of 33. There will be 2 laps to go, so there will be no more yellows. Oh, the Ferrari is wide. The Mercedes is right behind. It has been a constant, non-stop brawl at the front of the field most of the day today. And the 2 drivers who dominated the first 65% of this race. One of them's in 5th, one of them is not even running anymore. We are looking at a potential unexpected victor here. Jay Caesar is also within a second and a half. If something goes wrong, Jay Caesar could legitimately make a run for this victory here. Down the front stretch once again, it looks like Dindu had a better run coming out of the chicane than Shredder did this time. He's now got Jay Caesar behind. This could be big news for Jay Caesar and his championship hopes. U5 unexpectedly has moved up into the 4th position. Despite seeming weaker in the BMW than he did in the Chevy, it seems like he's making it work. Dindu is now opening the gap a bit on Shredder. Is this going to be enough to let Dindu pull away from Shredder here? We look at the fight for second. Yes, Shredder has lost Dindu. That fight for the win is over. It's now a fight for second between Shredder and Jay Caesar. Jay Caesar, who at one point wasn't even in the top 10, is now trying to fight back for a second place finish. It would be one of the biggest drives of the season if he can pull it off. Shredder inside, Jay Caesar outside, and there's just nothing the Mercedes can do. He tries to accelerate out of the corner, but he's blocked. The BMW is too wide, a move that Shredder, who is a BMW veteran, is all too familiar with, as Dindu is now streaking away from the field a bit. Jay Caesar has moved into 2nd. This could be, we don't do driver of the day stuff here, but if we did do driver of the day stuff, this would be driver of the day material. And look at that, AMS Need is in 5th, trying to steal 4th with U5 in the final lap and a half here. Run downhill once again. Shredder inside. Oh, and Jay Caesar's a little wide. Caesar is really wide. They make a bit of contact. I think Shredder came off a little worse for it there. Karki looks like he might come out of this in 6th position by the looks of it. Too slow to impact the top 5, but too fast for anyone behind to really threaten him here. Dindu has opened up more than a 2-second gap on the fight for second. So this is it. This is the run to the end of this race and the fight for second. Dindu, unless he makes a big mistake here in these last lap and a third, is going to be our 4th different winner in the series and bring Ferrari their first win since I think 2018 in this series. Jay Caesar trying really hard to keep the Mercedes behind. Mercedes goes to the outside, coming into the chicane. White flag will be in the air as the leader comes across the line. This is the final circuit around the track now. Finally, we only get about a lap and a half of it, but finally the flag for the lead calms down, but is taken over by this mad dash in 2nd. Mead has gotten by U5. He's moved up into the 4th position. But still, it looks like Jay Caesar is going to close down his gap on Mead unless he makes a big mistake here. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that doesn't happen. I just want an interesting title fight. Shredder drops tires into the dirt. Not a great run for him uphill, but he's got the draft of the BMW still. He might be able to get a big run down the straight. He's got the draft of the BMW. But the BMW seems to be good enough in their straight line speed. I don't think the Mercedes can do anything. Under braking, Shredder looks to the inside, but the door is shut before he can really make anything of it. And Jay Caesar, who has spent nearly the entire, well, not nearly the entire race, but basically half the race outside of the top 7. Unless something changes, I think he's going to get second. This could be incredible. And Shredder is on pace for his first podium of the season. That would make him, at least establish him, as a legitimate championship threat. While his biggest rival in the point, Ludicrous Speed, is all the way back in 8th, just kind of irrelevant to this lead fight. Mead is closing in on this duo. Could he make a big last lap, last chicane dive on Shredder for 3rd? Oh boy, Shredder's a little wide there. Yeah, Mead's caught him. Mead will have one chance, I believe, to go for 3rd position. What about Shredder? Is Shredder going to defend against Mead, or is he going to try and set up something against Jay Caesar to steal the 2nd place here? Dindu is gone. He's 2 seconds up the road. Here comes Shredder. He's got to run. He looks to the outside, falls back in line, nose to tail. Now they come through this 3rd to last corner. Shredder to the inside. It's a drag race. Jay Caesar's been pushed a little bit off line. Caesar will have the inside. Shredder outside. Mead is right behind, ready to capitalize. He's not going to make it 3 wide, though. Jay Caesar has the car ahead, but Shredder has got the inside line coming out. They make contact. Shredder is slow coming out of the corner, and Dindu will cross the line. He will take home victory in the Ferrari. Jay Caesar will be 2nd, and Mead barely gets 3rd over Shredder. Shredder gets nipped away, a 3rd nipped away from him on the run to the line. U5 will get 5th. Kakari will get 6th. 7th place is going to be a fight between PM221 and Ludicrous Speed. But in the end, it will go to the Acura of PM7th. Ludicrous 8th. 9th will be Indoctro. 10th will be NFL Racer. I believe that's his first top 10 finish of the season. He will be followed by SVR Carrera, and then FM Esports will round it out in 12th position. But your winner for the first time this season, for the first time in years, is going to be the Ferrari of Indio Dindu. It's been a long time. It's taken a long time. But some aggressive moves when the field got bunched up, and Dindu has pulled it off. I can hardly believe that's happened, but he's done it. So we're going to send invites out to our top 5 finishers to see if they would be willing to talk with us. First up coming into the party is going to be RZX U5. U5, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, go ahead, include your audio. Interesting day. You spent a lot of that time today really brawling it out, but in the end, a 5th place finish after swapping a car mid-season. What do you have to say about that run today?
I haven't swapped my car at all. I've been in the Beamer the whole time.
I thought you were in the Chevy at Sebring.
Nope. I've been in the Beamer the whole time.
Okay, I apologize for that. Well, in that case, I'm going to change my narrative then to fit reality. Top 5 finish here in the BMW. What is it with you and making these great results on these rain races?
Well, today was other people's mistakes because I had no pace in this BMW. It did not like the rain whatsoever. PTG J Caesar will probably tell you that as well. The Beamer had struggled, especially through El Rouge, but I made the most of what I could, and I'll take a 5th.
All right. Great job out there. Excuse me. I know you've had some unexpected results. My next question is, do you think you can pull off a win in these remaining races of the season?
I would probably need a miracle. I haven't shown really the pace other than Sebring to have a shot to win one of these.
All right, well, we can always hope otherwise. But anyways, great job out there bringing that car home in 5th place. All right, I want to jump to our race winner real quickly. NDL Dindu, go ahead. Make sure your audio is included. It's been a rough season for you. You know, the spin at Daytona, despite being one of the faster cars there, you were leading late at Sebring, but the tires kind of fell off from you there, along with a fuel issue, you know. But here, today, finally, you have brought the Ferrari home to a race win at one of the most difficult circuits on the schedule. What do you have to say about that incredible drive, Dindu?
Yeah, I'm just really happy. It's a tough race, you know. Avocado and me, they were very fast. The caution helped, and then a few other issues. But yeah, just really happy to get a win, and hopefully I can get a few more.
All right, with this win, this should, again, I'm going to have to double check the points here real quickly, but I do believe that this would put you into, not direct, but outside championship contention, especially with Valkyrie having missed today's race. So the big question is now, what do you think you can get more wins, and do you think you can make a run, even if it's an outside run at this championship?
I mean, if there's a chance, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give it my all and, you know, just see where it gets me.
All right. Yeah, you were 7th in points coming into this, so 1,205 points, only about 220 points out from Mead coming into this race. So yeah, this will help you close down latter half of the season. I don't know about you. I'm really excited to see what you can do for this final run to the end. Great job. I cannot stress enough. It is so great to see. Also, one other thing, congratulations. For the first time since 2021, we will have more than 3 different race winners in a season. So great job on that as well.
Thank you.
All right. That is the word from our race winner, NDL Dindu. And now I want to talk with PTG Jay Caesar, who came home in 2nd position. Caesar, not a great run in qualifying, not horrible, but that first 2 laps were horrible. You spent a large chunk of that race not even in the top 10. And yet, here we are now, you're 2nd. How in the world did you do that? You weren't even in the top 10, and you're 2nd. What in the world did you do?
NOS. No, just fortunate turn of events. Commiserations to Mead, that would have been his outright, but he had gremlins in his system, and congratulations to Dindu. Yeah, after the qualifying, just wasn't great. I can't say what it was for sure, but I was way off pace in quali. And then the lad is now grounded because he put me out in Torn Rouge off the start, and then I just lost so many places and ended up towards the back of the grid. Made my way back up through the field for the most part to about, I think I was 7th, 6th, and then that safety car came. Well, the caution came out, and I was able to pull it back in there a little bit more, but the car was a struggle. It was an absolute struggle. It really struggled on the front end getting it turned in, and then trying to get out some of the corners just lacked a little bit of traction. I think a lot of people were suffering with that same issue this week with the conditions.
I mean, you may say that, and yes, it's obvious you struggled. We saw when you were fighting with your son, with Ludacris, PM221, and AMS and Doctro, and Kakari just fighting in that big cluster of 5-6 cars, how rough that thing looked. But man, the cream rises to the top. When the tough gets going, the going gets tough, and you definitely showed that you were going today. So I know it's impressive that Dindu won. I'm really shocked at that, but I cannot stress enough like how shocked I am how you pulled that out. Like, that is championship type drive, champion level perseverance. And now with that in mind, you're closed the gap down on the championship leader and on 2nd place with the 2nd place finish here today. Do you still think you have the championship in play?
No, at this point I'm probably going to say no, because for the 7th I won't be here. I've got a family engagement to attend, so I won't be here for that race. But I should still be around fighting for third for the last podium. I think Mead will take a jump here. Well, especially after the seventh, if he stays for all the races, he'll certainly take a jump. So I think I'll be fighting for the third place overall.
All right. Well, either way, that kind of a shame to hear that, but real life ensues. Either way, mate, I cannot stress this enough. Like, of all the drives I've seen in IESC in the years that I've covered this, going back to 2018, that's probably the most impressive I have ever seen, mate. You know, there's no thing of, oh, well, he just had a broken car, or, oh, he got lucky. Like, every single overtake I saw you make was 100% driver skill. I cannot express enough how elated and shocked I am at that drive, mate. Like, I cannot express enough.
Glad you enjoyed it.
All right, now I want to talk with our third place finisher, AMS Mead. Mead, go ahead, include your audio. Led the most laps today, but in the end, something seemed to send you off circuit. You fell all the way back to 6th, did recover to 3rd at the end. What do you have to say about your run today?
Massively disappointed in myself for not changing the setting on my TV to stop it from going into standby. That's why I ended up going off track. Other than that, it was some very good battling. That caution made it even more interesting. I just hope we don't have many more wet races, that's for sure.
I mean, you say that, but it seems like some of your strength is in the wet races. You won at Sebring, and you were well on track to potentially winning here as well. It seems like wet races are your strength.
I guess so. The Lexus likes to grip up on the rear end on acceleration at least, but other than acceleration, it just can't do it around the corners in the wet.
All right, well, with your third place finish here, coupled with Valkyrie not showing up, more than likely, I anticipate, unless some weird stuff happens, you're going to inherit the points lead after this, going into the last half of the season. Do you think you can win this championship, or do you think Valkyrie is going to be able to steal it back from you?
I really don't know. I'm going to try. I'm just going to race each race and take it however it happens. I'm not really too fussed with how it goes. All I'm here for is a bit of fun and a bit of battling, and that's what seems to be happening at the moment, so I'm happy.
A lot of fun, a lot of battling. You put on a fantastic fight with you and Avocado. Anyways, great performance out there. I really am going to be looking forward to what you can do in the next 2 weeks as well. Great job on pulling a podium out of what seemed like ruin there as well, mate. All right,
yeah,
I want to talk real quickly with our fourth place finisher, SRD Shredder. Shredder, go ahead and include your audio. To be fair, legitimately on pace in the first half of the race, you were a top 4 car. But with 3 laps to go, you were fighting for the win. I'm sure a fourth place finish really stings for you, even if it's your best finish this season. What do you have to say about today's race?
I mean, I knew going into qualifying, I knew I had like some sort of a chance at like a fairly decent result because Spa's one of my better tracks, and also I tend to just like be a better on pace in the wet, and per usual. So I knew going into this race there was something there, and then with the 4th place, got a fairly good start. Didn't get too involved with everyone, and then just settled down. Just was ready to get a top 4 and then call it a day there. Then the caution came out, and you like if some shenanigans went on ahead, there's potential to like even better reward it. And then off the restart, I think it was off the restart, everyone ahead sort of like messed up going to Air Rouge, and then we like, did our like 4 wide salute. And then a few laps later, Avocado had to leave because he was called by someone, and then Mead had his funny TV moment, and then I'd decided to have like I'll call all caution to the wind, have a go on Dindu, see if I can like get around him at all. And then so I followed him, then 2 laps to go, he like went slow into the bus stop, sort of brought me back into Caesar's dirty air, and from that point onwards I had no chance of catching him. Because I was just getting all that dirty air push from Caesar. He caught up past me, and the exact same thing happened with Mead. He got in my dirty air, got me loose, and then I managed to stall the car coming off the final corner, so he just managed to pass me straight to the line.
Well, still, 4th place, this is your best finish thus far. I'm not going to say it's an absolute run, but do you think you have an outside shot at the championship with this kind of result today?
No, unless like I make every single race rain and lightning, I've got no chance at getting like a top 2 in the championship. if people don't turn up to races, then it's maybe a shot at the top 3, but it's gonna have to like be a lot of races that they missed.
All right. Well, either way, mate, you did put on a heck of a show. I thought you were legitimately only in for a 4th or 5th place finish, and seeing you go side by side for the win on 2 separate occasions was definitely unexpected.
Thank you.
Anyways, with that in mind, that'll pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Spa-Francorchamps. Our next race, I believe, is next week, isn't it? And that would be
Hockenheim full.
All right,
Next
so
weekend.
in a week's time, go ahead and join us for our race at Hockenheim for IESC's GT3 season. Everything is heated up. The competition on track and the points battle off track. But until next time, I've been your host, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us today. Farewell and goodbye.